Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Speak That Talks. My name is Tiara M. Tucker, and as always, I am so excited to welcome you all to another edition. So, we're about to go live in a few seconds. So, go ahead, grab some more people, get ready to have fun today because today's going to be a little different than the previous shows. We're going to go down memory lane because we have some things to celebrate today. So, host a watch party, share this link, and I'll catch you in 30 seconds. Always goes by fast. So, again, grab some people, tell them to tune in. Right now, I'm inviting my friends to join us live on the Speak That Movement Facebook page. So, I just hosted my watch party. We're about to go live. I sure hope you all will invite some more people. So, today's a special Speak That Talks. It'll be a little like the past ones, a little different. Because we are going to just have a good time. I'm going to bring in some very special people, and we're going to talk about Speak That when it all began. So again, welcome to Speak That Talks, your live virtual show that is unfiltered, unscripted, uncensored, and unedited. So for the past 44 weeks, I've hosted this show, which brings in people from all over the country and even people outside of the country to just feel empowered, inspired, connected. So I'm so excited to welcome you all today. If you do not know me, my name is Tiara M. Tucker. I am the founder and CEO of Tiara PR Network, as well as Speak That Movement, which is on a mission to equip and empower professional women in business along our journeys of dream and goal realization, encouraging us all to use our voice, walk in our purpose, and live our best life. But also recognizing that there's going to be some mental health and social injustice issues along the way that we're going to help fight together. So without further ado, I just want to invite you all to join us. Let's virtually connect. Let's virtually socialize. So I want to know where you are. So if you're out there on my personal page, welcome. Come on over to the Speak That Movement page. Hello, Karen, representing Peoria, Illinois, all worldwide. Yes, we have had some international guests on, so that's always a pleasure. So again, let's virtually connect. Let us know what city you're in, where you're representing, and if you, again, are on any personal pages, come on over to the Facebook or YouTube Speak That Movement page. Not only can you come over there to be a part of today's live show, but you can also check out all of the previous episodes. So again, let us know where you are. Hey there, representing Springfield, Illinois, the home state. Welcome, Ms. Lawson. Hi, Elaine. Always nice to see your name and your face. Representing Rockford, Illinois. We have a few Rockford folks joining us today, so thank you so much. So without further ado, guys, I'm just so excited about today because on today, we are celebrating 10 years of Speak That events. So today is the start of it, but it's going on all month, right? Because why just take a day or a week? All month, we're going to celebrate 10 years of Speak That events. And to help me celebrate, I'm so happy to say that I have a few special guests. Miss Lanita Evans, who is an executive board member of Speak That Movement. She's with us today. Miss Erica McCall, my soror, my friend, my visionary partner. She's with us today too because she has played a special role in this Speak That Journey, as well as my friend, my Illinois DJ, Mr. AG. He also has played a role in this Speak That Journey, so he's with us today as well. So I'm going to bring Lanita up first, and we're going to get right down to it. So everybody, help me welcome Miss Lanita.
Hey, hey now. Hey. Happy Hello. 10 years. Woo-hoo!
Yes.
Doing it. It is an awesome time, an awesome experience, and way to celebrate. On today, this month, the month of March, got several days to celebrate within this month. We can celebrate 10 years throughout the whole year. BET celebrated 40 years throughout the year, so we can celebrate 10 years throughout the year. Why not?
Hey, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, I like that sweatshirt, by the way.
I like yours. That is straight fabulous. I will say, Speak That is all of that.
That's right. So I'm so happy to have you on because got some shout outs out there. I'm so happy to have you on and the rest of the guests that we're going to bring up. And I know there might be some other people that might pop in. If not on, they're going to jump in the comments. But just want to shout you out for people that don't know. Lanita from Rockford. Lanita is, doing her thing. She loves people. She cares about the community. She cares about families. And she has really, really, really been an amazing person on this new level of Speak That movement. But you also were at the very first event that we're going to be talking about. So you were at the very first event. So you have also witnessed this journey from March 2011 to March 2021. So what are your thoughts? What made you stick around all this time?
Well, what made me stick around all this time, as far as the first event, I participated in the event. It was a great event. It was in Bloomington, Illinois, and having something coming to the area that was positive was really good. Having some positive individuals, the poetry, the music, just the networking opportunities as well. But it was an entertaining time span, and it was what the community needed at that time. So anytime I can support something that's positive and my folks are doing some things, I'm there. You win, I win.
That's right. Everybody eats, right?
That's right.
Eats. So again, everybody, come on in on the conversation. We have a little surprise. Well, I guess I could say it's something that we're going to show a little later, but I just want to get right down to it. Like, I want to bring up my girl, Erica. I'm going to bring her up early on because I want to talk about her part in this journey. So everybody, help me welcome from Dallas, Texas. Lanita's representing Illinois, and then my girl Erica in LA right now. Hey. How are you?
Hi. Happy anniversary. I feel like we should be doing our anniversary stroll.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you for dropping in. I'm so happy to have you. First of all, tell us what's going on. How's it going in LA? What's going on?
Everything is going well in LA. No complaints. Just been staying in the house and just using this time to work on, everything that's happening with the foundation and books and all of that stuff. So everything's going good.
Good. Well, I definitely want to talk more about what you have going on. And I also want to explain for people that don't know why I feel like you needed to be a part of today's Speak That Talks, because you were a part of like the weekend or the New Year's Eve when we were together in Chicago.
Yeah.
Hanging out New Year's Eve, me, you, Malik, Yusef, when you were working with him, and then we hung out. We had a great time. I don't even know where we went. And then I remember the next day, which was New Year's Day, I remember saying to Malik, yeah, you should come to Bloomington and perform. And I remember, and I love telling this story, Malik was like, make it happen. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to make it happen. And so just like that, January 1st, wheels started turning, ideas started flowing. Obviously, I was in touch with you because you were Malik's executive assistant at that time. And now you're an executive on many fronts yourself.
And it's something to see just the growth of this over the 10 years, because a lot of things started from conversation, which it says a lot to the brand. Speak that, like you have to speak those things. And I do remember we've had so many amazing nights. One thing I can say about Tiara, we have had lots of fun together, but we also have these just groundbreaking moments, whether it's a conversation and something come from that. We could have like an inspiring conversation and then just like, you know what, I thought about writing a book. I want to write a book. Can you edit it? And I do remember that night was inspirational because we were talking to somebody else on Malik's team or somebody, and they were like, you just have to be. And we thought that was so profound in that moment, but just so many great things. I'm grateful to be on this journey with you. Congratulations to everything that you're doing with your talks. And, I get to see what you're doing. And so, COVID, there is a silver lining in all of this that, we're online more and can kind of scroll and see and stop and see. And I love to see it because in addition to that, speak that story, I always have to go back to when we first met before we were sorors, because we were peer educators and we were on that corner. I always forget the street, but in front of the Bone Student Center. Yeah. And you told me what you wanted to do with your career. You're like, I want to be like Vivica and Sue could play that game. And she was, doing marketing and all of that. So you have always spoken what you wanted into existence. So that's one thing that I admire about you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so I also want to talk about you because again, we had that first event. The first event was in March, and then actually it was going to be in February 1st, but it was a blizzard. So then we had the event in March. You played a key, a very helpful role. But also, let's talk about how you've been speaking things into existence in your life and all of the amazing things you've been doing. And we spent many, many more New Year's Eves together. But let's talk about the New Year's Eve when your, visions went to a whole nother level.
Yeah, that New Year's Eve, we're going into 2010. I remember we were in Atlanta. And we were just like, this is going to be a good year. Another year where we just had a good time. And I'm telling you, it was so cold in Atlanta, maybe like 30 degrees in Atlanta, but we got a drop top Mustang. And we said, we are going to have a good time. And we had a good time. And were you in Dallas by then?
No.
Were you where? I was in Chicago.
I was still in Bloomington.
You were still in Bloomington. Okay. And so we were just like, this is going to be a good year. And I didn't know that I would eventually have an idea for a book. Tiara would be one of the editors on. That year, I quit my full-time job and had no idea the seed that had been planted. And that was, I had that idea in 2010, but in November, it marks the 10-year anniversary of Go For Yours, the book. And for those of you who don't know, it's a book that highlights young people who are brave enough to follow their dreams. I had no idea that this thing would turn into a foundation. And I'll never forget it. I was in Chicago living in my grandmother's basement because I had quit my job and I had an idea to do this leadership program. And so I was like, I'm going to go to Julie High School, which my cousin Trey, who was murdered in 2006, he graduated from that school in 2000. And so I said, I'm going to go and start this program. And it started out so small. Like I literally would make food because it'd be during their lunch. And so I'd be making tacos or going to Subway and cutting up those, foot long. and just didn't know what this thing would grow into, and it continues to grow and grow and grow. You know, I ended up moving Chicago and moving to LA to work for Hill Harper's Foundation and run that foundation for a little bit. And it's just growing. And most recently, the foundation was highlighted. They showed part of the segment today where it's highlighted on the Drew Barrymore show. She has a talk show now. And so Go For Yours was highlighted today. And I had no idea it was coming on today until someone called me like crying, like, I just saw you on TV. So we had to figure all that, like, how we get this information out. But check that out. And then Monday is going to be another surprise that I can't share. But what she did was she highlighted, I guess, a woman per week. They partnered with Amazon because Coming to America is coming out. And so they want to highlight one queen a week who is making a difference in their nonprofit. So, yeah.
Well, let me say this. I did catch the segment with Go For Yours and you, and I saw you just doing your thing. And in my mind, I'm like, this was an idea, and I'm just watching it grow. And then I have to just say this. That Speak That Movement calendar was in the background on the Drew Barrymore show.
I was just going to tell you that. And you just never know, you all, the seeds that you plant. So, you know, I recently did another book with my best friend, and we had a publicist for that whole, you know, segment of us just booking things. And so one of my friends was like, you have a really good publicist. When she found out about Drew Barrymore, I said, no, my publicist was the Lord. Okay. So the producer who pitched me to Drew Barrymore, she was looking for something else that I filled out. And I had like sent her an email and she interviewed me. She's like, I want to pitch you to Drew Barrymore. I want to get you on TV. I was like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. But the reason this lady even knew to email me is because of something I filled out in 2010.
No way.
I cannot make this up, y'all. And it gives me the chills even thinking about it, because you just never know. It was a really good segment. Shout out to AG, who will be on shortly. They used some of the pictures he took during the Dream Experience, like something from 2010. So you never know, like, the seeds that you're planting, where they're going, how they'll grow. And it's just, you know, because, you know, I've been this, you know, this whole journey has been like, okay, up, down, up. And so I'm glad that God is always in it.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, vision for Go For Yours 2010, email sent 2010.
Yes, I just thought about that. Yeah.
Over a decade later.
Yes.
Amazing opportunity. And you've been on WGN News, you've been on ABC, you've been doing your thing. So kudos to the media placements. But something about this one.
Yes. It's Drew Barrymore. That's like one of my best friends in my head, one of my girlfriends.
Congratulations on that. Like that's huge, and that's significant. And it's also a testimony regarding you being loyal. What if you had to let go of Go For Yours, right? And she reached out and you're like, but you, and that's why I'm also happy to have you on, because you've been doing your thing for over a decade as well. You've been obedient, you've been dedicated, you've been loyal, you haven't given up, and God is just showing out on your behalf and with what you're doing. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you. And just anytime that God puts something in your heart, you know, he'll make sure you get all of the resources. A lot of people are scared. That's why it's Go For Yours. Like, a lot of people are scared and nervous when it comes to things like that. Like, how am I going to do this? But if it's a God drink, he will make it happen. Like I said, something in 2010 that I filled out. Yeah.
So help us before we bring up AG, who's on, like you mentioned. Speak to the people right now and tell them a little bit about how faith was involved in your journey when you went from, you know, like we said, you had a career, and then you were Malik Yusef's executive assistant, and then you also worked with Hill Harper, and then you took a step of faith and moved from Illinois to LA. And then you took a step of faith and have a foundation. You took a step of faith and wrote book number 1, Go For Yours. You took another step of faith and have book number 2, All Good, just a week ago. And then you're about to shoot out book number 3, Don't Wait, Create. And then you have a publishing company. And then so many more things. So talk to everybody out there real quick as we think about the, I guess, not giving up. Because to me, that's what this 10 years means to me. That's what your 10 years should mean to you. Not giving up on the vision that was birthed inside of you. So tell us about that what all that meant to you.
I think faith for me, one thing is my grandma always says, if God did it for them, they can do it for you too. And knowing that he created us all with a purpose, and they're all different purposes. We don't know how they will play out, but just knowing like, hey, I'm created. I'm here for a purpose. I had some nights where I'm like, Lord, I'm not going to do anything, but if you don't wake me up in the morning, I'll be okay with that. You know, like you have some of those nights as an entrepreneur, but I think it really started with Go For Yours. Like I'm writing, you know, I was still at my full-time job and I'm telling people to have faith and to follow their dream. And I'm writing these stories and I'm like, I need to be able to test this. Like for me, I want to be a full example of what it means to lean in and trust God. I want to be a vessel for that. And so I think too, when it comes to faith, a lot of times, because, you know, just in the world of today, a lot of people are very superficial. And so they want things for the wrong reasons. And it's very easy in this social media world. But when you understand, like, man, I was created for a purpose. Man, I made it. Like, if you think about the numbers of us getting here, you know, so that has just built my faith. It took a while to get there. And I had people like you, Tiara, who, you know, kept me motivated, who, you know, Tiara, there are times when the first time I came to LA, well, not the first time, but when I volunteered for Hill's Foundation, I didn't really have no money. I remember you like, I'm sending you some money, and another Sora want to send money, you know. And so all of that has strengthened my faith. Like, to say that I did all of these things, and that's why I'm like, I give glory to God and for God bringing the people in my life, because I could not have done any of this alone at all. And so you're one of those people, and I'm so grateful and thankful to you, and just grateful to be on this journey.
Thank you. And hey, y'all, Janice Farrell, Mama. Tell Mama hi. So we have some other people. I see you out there. Deborah is watching from the United Kingdom by way of Africa. So we have international guests on. Thank you so much. Come on over to the Speak That Movement page. So before we bring up AG, and I'm so excited to bring up AG because AG has just played just an amazing role along the Speak That journey, probably more than he even knows. So I'm going to bring him up in a minute. But before I do that, I'm going to take a step back to the very first Speak That event, which we're celebrating today. So the first event was in March. It was on March 2nd, again, because of the snowstorm. And so I remember like, oh my God, I want to do this event. I was just blessed to secure the venue, the Castle Theater. And that was even a godly moment as well, because when I met with the owner of the venue, because a coworker suggested I reach out to him because it was a new venue, beautiful venue. I met with him. Here I am, like 20 something years old. Like, yeah, I want to host this event. I have this and this. I didn't even have probably any money. I know I didn't. Come to find out, he used to live in my hometown many, many years ago. White guy, Rory. And I remember it was just like, he was just like willing to just work with me. And he was excited about the event. So I just have to throw that out there for people that don't know the little details. But that's when you kind of know God is in something, because the little things start making sense. Like, okay, what I thought was going to be just an event, now we were at one of the nicest venues in Bloomington, Normal, a Castle Theater in downtown with the real ticket box office tickets. It was on the website. It was like, What? So I reached out to a few people. I reached out to my friend Javon Martin, who's not with us on this show today, but shout out to you, Javon. Javon was like, I got you. I also remember reaching out to AG, to DJ, and I'm going to pull DJ AG up right now because I want to publicly thank him again 10 years later for the role that he plays. So help me welcome the DJ for the very first Speak That event, Mr. DJ AG Antoine George.
Hey, what up? What up? How y'all doing?
Hey.
I gotta do this real quick. Sorry, that's the DJ and me. I had to.
I want you to keep going. I mean,
I was like, right.
You know how life works. You know, it wanted to. There we go. 10 years. Speak That movement.
Yes.
Right, I'm gonna take. I don't want copyrights and stuff to come in, but happy 10-year anniversary, Tiara. Well deserved for Speak That movement, most definitely. And I need one of them hoodies, by the way, but we'll talk about that.
I got you. So this is the debut of the hoodie. You know, shout out to the hoodies.
Great time for it to hit the streets.
Very nice.
That's right. So AG, I just have to again just publicly thank you because again, there were a few people that I called very beginning and you were one of them. And I'm like, AG, I'm having this event. I need a DJ. I needed a flyer. And I remember you were just like, I got you. So thank you for not only having me for that Speak That event, the first one in March, but you had me for the homecoming edition when we had the day party, right? Bringing a day party to Bloomington, Normal that they weren't used to. And thank you for just always understanding the vision and seeing where my mind was, but being able to say, I got you. So thank you. And not only for the Speak That events, but over the years when we could call on you for our Delta events. I mean, you have just always been a blessing. Go for yours. So you have been a blessing to so many people. And I wanted to publicly thank you for that and just let you know it does not go unnoticed. We love you. We appreciate you. And even though, you know, you may play the role to some people as, oh, I'm the graphic design artist, or I'm the DJ, or I'm the photographer, just know that your role is so critical because you are stepping in and you are helping our dreams come true by just saying yes. So I have to thank you for that.
Well, you're very welcome, first of all. And it's an honor on this end of the table as well, honestly. You know, I know that, you know, at times when gratitude is given on one end based off of one's work, but, you know, it's a blessing to be a part of such an opportunity. And of course, what you presented, and I don't know if you're going to get into the question any further about the first event that you put on, but it consisted of one of my heroes. So, you know, it was a no-brainer for me. And, you know, obviously this 10 years ago, I think that all of us are, you know, different than we were 10 years ago, and we'll be different than we are today, you know, 10 years from now than we are today. But, you know, that was a time where I was coming out of ISU in particular and trying to figure out what I was going to do next, what my next chapter was or next phase or whatever. And had a big ego. You know, I was the campus DJ for most of the events.
With the Bronco.
In the Bronco. Nowhere I could park where it wasn't spotted. And so, you know, the thing about doing an event like that at the time, because timing is everything, I believe, it started this path of me getting rid of my ego, which again, you know, if people can be honest, you know, letting go of ego is like being a recovering alcoholic or recovering anything, you know, it's some stuff still comes back over the years, but you just manage it better. And I just found more solace and more just gratitude and being able to work with somebody like Malik, Yusef, and I'm sure you're going to talk about that more. You know, that means more to me than a lot of things that I've done in my life in terms of entertainment. And so I thank you for such a great and honorable event to be a part of, and for it to go down in history the way it did, the way it was executed, and the way it all manifested. It was a blessing to be a part of.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And that's another, I think, awesome story is that I didn't even know at the time that you have been following and supporting Malik. So when I remember when I was telling you, you were like, Malik, like you were so excited about that as well. So that, look at that connection with me, you, and Erica, and that Erica's working with them.
Yeah,
that's how I got the connection, and then I reach out to you, and then you got a connection, and so look at how things just work out.
Yeah, and I actually didn't know him. I just
I mean, you liked him, and you were a supporter of him.
Yeah, I got his number now. He was the first hero whose number I got. That was I mean, I listened to the comment one day of the All Make Sense album back in like 97, 98, and he was really my first true introduction to spoken word on that level. I didn't have a face to put with it though. My 97 internet wasn't like it is now. So I heard the voice, I heard the piece, but I didn't know what this man looked like, who he was. And I'm not even sure I necessarily knew when crack music came out, when he did that. But I knew who he was at that point. And so it was just wild to me, that, after the show had concluded, we're still hanging out, and I'm hanging out with Malik Yusef. And, obviously I've done much of that since then. And so it's kind of second nature at this point, but that was my first hero that I met in terms of entertainment. And I thank you for that. It was a beautiful, beautiful occasion.
Awesome. So for people that don't know who Malik Yusef is, Erica, do you mind maybe sharing a little bit? I mean, 6-time Grammy Award winner, but you mind sharing more about him?
Grammy Award winning writer. He's a spoken word artist, but he is amazing with the pen. He's written some songs, and I worked alongside of him. So, and the music industry is so crazy. It's such a crazy industry for people to get into. So you don't always get your writing credits, and you don't always get things. I remember one day he had to submit his writing credits, and that was when what album? It was a Kanye album. I think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, that album. And he had to submit all the lines that he wrote. And some of them, I was like, you wrote that. You wrote that too. You wrote that. So he's written a lot of stuff. And, I remember when he told me he was going to write a song for Beyonce. And I was like, oh, does she like it? No, he said, I have a song for Beyonce. I said, does she like it? He was like, she hasn't heard it yet. But then that song ended up being on one of her albums, on the Lemonade album. So he's, not just a spoken word artist and writer, but the ultimate go-getter.
Awesome. And thank you for that that introduction of him. And so I know you have to jump off, Erica, because you have another platform that you're on today. So I want to thank you for that intro. So when you have to hop off, just let us know. But what I want to do, I want to play a video. And I'm so excited to play this video because this was aired during the first Speak That event, because I was like, oh man, we about to introduce Malik. I can't just have LaRoyce Hawkins, who's now, doing his thing. Shout out to LaRoyce too, who was the MC, because I also reached out to LaRoyce, I'm having this event. And LaRoyce was like, I got you. So shout out to him as well for being that brother that said, I got you. Now you can catch him every week on Chicago PD doing his thing with the toothpick. Still have the toothpick back there. But I didn't want LaRoyce to just say, well, coming to the stage. I had another vision. I'm like, I need an introduction. So I remember, Erica, you helped, coordinate some, getting us securing Malik. And so me and Adam Sitton, who is a co-worker, I also reached out to Adam. Adam, I have a vision. Adam, again, was like, I got you. Not even knowing that Adam's sister was a huge fan of Malik Yusef. So it was just
Wow.
crazy how all these things were coming together. So I want to share with everybody out there watching, if you haven't seen this, this is the interview that I co-produced with Adam to introduce Malik Yusef. But not only is this important to show this video, but 10 years later, here I am, still loving to get people talking and inspiring and motivating. So again, we never know how little seeds will be planted, and we just keep going with them. So without further ado, I would like to share with all of you the Malik Yusef interview from 10 years ago. Take a look.
Wow.
Okay.
I just feel like I can't lose. The universe is constantly conspiring in my favor. I just don't feel like I can be beat. I feel like if I had to go on the ship tomorrow with shark fishermen, and I never fished for sharks before, I feel like I could dive in the water, take a shark, gut it, and use its teeth for weapons to kill other sharks. That's how I feel.
So Malik Yusef, tell me about your childhood and growing up in Chicago's Wild Hunters.
Where I feel like home is right where I'm at now. 12-8, South Side, Wild Hunters, 127, hosted. The basis of my understanding of loyalty and brotherhood and companionship and fear and expectation. And some of the things you do here, some of the things you do in the most hostile environments, in the wildest conditions to survive. A lot of these people came out here looking for the American dream. And the American dream is just that. It's a dream, I think my biggest dream was to be able to get away from my mother, from her oppression, you know what I'm saying? When you constantly trying to get somebody to love you, you need to take that and internalize that and love yourself more. When I started to love myself and started to have stone love, it changed. Once I realized I didn't have to stay in the house, that was it. I was good from there.
So what have been some of the highlights of the life of Malik Yusef as the writer, the poet, the actor, the man?
First of all, the hilarity of the fact that I have a career is so, I don't even know what to say. I've worked with, Common, Kanye, Carl Thomas, Twista, Raheem Devon, Adam Levine, Big Nasty, Crucial Conflict, Do or Die, REM, Josh Stone, Justin Timberlake, CeeLo Green. I've got tons of awards, hundreds of awards, and citations of different sorts, and placements and plaques and shit like that. That's not really the thing, though. When I look at those things, I look at the process behind them. How did I get this Grammy right here? How did this Grammy happen? How did this award happen? What did I do to get that? Then I can make a recipe out of it. Everybody can have the same ingredients. Get a couple friends and grab a microphone, get some studio equipment, and try to be Malik Yusef. But see, it's not that. Those are just the ingredients. That's a key component. There's a step on how to put those things together. And that's called the recipe. Now that's what you can't steal, because we go at it every day. We forge that path every day. Every day that Malik Yusef does something is a new chapter in spoken word music and spoken word poetry on the planet. That's something that's not been done before. Russell Simmons said, Malik Yusef and Black Ice are the reason I do this. And I was like, wow. The reason you did Deaf Poetry Jam wasn't for the learned poets from Harvard or Oxford. It was for the street motherfuckers like us that perform poetry at our boys' funerals and at the grave site, of our fallen soldiers out here trying to survive. That's how my poetry started. Before I knew there was a field of poetry, before I knew there was open, I didn't even know what open mic was. So I did it in living rooms while we was getting drunk and loading weapons. So to have an outlet like Deaf Poetry Jam presented to me, my most vigorous effort is to create a venue as well for young people to express themselves. And maybe you didn't go through what we went through, gang banging, and but everybody goes through something, and to them, it is horrific, no matter what it is.
It's well known that there's a lot of violence in Chicago. Not that it's not going on everywhere, but if you had the words that could end the violence or just make the kids stop and pause, what would you say to the youth in Chicago?
People need to understand that we talk about youth violence. That's just the symptom. When somebody's coughing, we give them cough syrup. That's idiotic. The problem's not the cough. It's what's going on inside. The violence is just microcosm of the MAC, which is we don't let our children express themselves on this earth. Self-expression is so important. It's mandatory for the evolution of a human being. You know, through dance, through singing, through poetry. And if you let people express themselves, they'll learn themselves. They create this looking glass, this mirror. You know, I became myself through poetry.
So, with so many people in the world who have big dreams, what would you tell someone who has a dream burning inside of them?
I think that you have to understand you're good enough right now to go for your dream. You don't have to add no shit to you, right? Nothing. Start right now. If you walk the path, you learn the mission. You're not gonna learn mountain climbing sitting right here, no matter how many books you read. Get toward a mountain, you're gonna start seeing people that are attempting the same thing or have attempted or have mastered the same thing. So if you have a dream, start doing it. Dancers be fucking dancing. They don't be talking about dancing, they be dancing. Singers be fucking singing. So if you got a dream, live in it. Look at your dream, but then wake up and get after it. The illusion is everybody wants the truth. But the truth is, everybody wants the illusion.
And there you have it. The Malik Yusef interview video from 10 years ago. When 10 years ago, we were empowering, inspiring, motivating, and uplifting people through spoken word, but also through the power of words. Wow, I hope you all felt something from that interview video, which is what I called it back then, the way that I did. So I want to pull everybody back up. I want to bring Erica back up because I know you have to close out soon. Yeah. I also want to bring AG up, and I want to bring Lanita up. So reactions, how do you all feel from 10 years ago? The message still resonates today.
It's relevant, as you said, so relevant still today. Everything that he said, and then speaking about the him walking and speaking in it, walking to the cloud, getting to the mountain is right in line with the pillars here. So it's just amazing how everything just lines up, and like I said, still relevant today. Everything.
Yeah. So relevant. It brought back so many memories, just moments with him, because that's how he would speak regularly, where I just be like, I need to just record everything that you're saying. That he used to always, everybody wants the truth, or the illusion is everybody wants the truth, but the truth is everyone wants the illusion. That was classic. I'm like, look at young Tiara over there, looking like Vivica Fox from Two Could Play That Game, right? it looked like a movie.
Yeah, that was stellar video work for a first event. I usually see people put up to that, and then just the way you interviewed them. Not everybody's good at interviewing, and you knocked it out the box on that. And whoever did the camera work was amazing. But just that interview, that just needs to be a go-to for a lot of people who need some words for encouragement or just inspiring words to go after what they want. There was nothing that was said in there that was empty. Everything was full.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Eric, I know that you want to. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you should definitely send that to him.
10 years later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still relevant. Well, Erica, what's that?
I said have him on the Speak That show.
Hey, well, you know what? You can make it happen.
Years later, I'll give you the number to call him.
Yes. Well, listen, Erica, I want to thank you so much. Again, thank you for the role that you have played in this journey. Thank you for going after yours, but also encouraging all of us, like all of us on this platform, to go after ours, and for encouraging the young people for going after theirs. I know you're doing some amazing things, and the best is yet to come.
Thank you. Thank you so much, y'all.
Yeah, Erica,
Good night.
Well, hold on. I just want to say thank you as well, Erica. You know, we talk about, and I'm sorry if you had to hurry up and get off, but we talk about, you know, life-changing decisions. And I want to tell you and Tiara, y'all make me glad I went to college, because,
wow,
you know, when you're here, you know, in a place, and I'm from Rockford, Illinois, and I hadn't gotten a degree yet or done anything like that. So trying to figure out what to do next, I go to school and I meet people like y'all, and you know, and you see what it manifests into today. As you mentioned, I've done work with Go For Yours, and I was able to meet a couple more heroes right in the same party. So it was convenient. Hill and Nate was in the same party. Those are two other people that I had been following for a long time, and you know, and got to talk to these people. But you guys make me feel like I made a great decision by going off to school, because I can justify what has manifested from this, having made that decision. You know, and so I just want to thank you, Tiara, but Eric, I want to thank you as well for the things that you've done career-wise, because the money part, that's cool, but you know, and I make a lot of it, but you can't take that with you. So to me, it's like, what matters more? You know, that I got to work with heroes, and that you two are two of the people out of all the people I've worked with that have put me in those spaces. So thank you for that, Erica.
Thank you. Thank you for believing in, you know, what we do. And, you know, there's been times when you're like, I'll come out to LA and I'll film for you. I'll shoot videos or I'll DJ. So just thank you. And I'm just glad to be on this journey with you all.
Definitely.
That's Redbird for life.
Redbird for life.
Always.
Thank you, Erica.
All right,
Miss Erica. Thank you so much. We will watch you for part 2 of the Drew Barrymore show on Tuesday.
Monday. It's going to be a fun surprise.
Is Eddie Murphy coming out?
I will.
America, I don't know. Everybody out there, make sure you watch Coming to America Part 2 this weekend too.
Yes,
right.
yes. I was able to see it. So it's a good movie. Check it out. Enjoy it. All of that. All right, guys.
Thank you so much. You can follow Erica on social media, Erica McCall, and also Go For Yours. Anything else you want to say before you wrap up?
No, just congratulations. And I'm excited to see what the next 10 years bring.
Thank you so much. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. So, AG, we again just thank you for all of your support over the years, and I just want to add this too. Not only did you make that first flyer that I know I drove you crazy, now I make my own flyers because I know I have a track record of
particular. You're particular. That's all.
That's a nice way to put it. But you have rocked with me from the very first flyer with Speak That Movement. You rocked with me for the second flyer. You even did the Going Away Golden Birthday when I moved to Dallas, Texas flyer. And then I have to just add, when I created the Speak That Movement calendar a few years ago, I created the calendar. I actually worked with the local artist here in Dallas. Shout out to Black artists doing Black artwork. And I remember reaching out to you last year, and I'm like, you know what? I want to change the cover up some. And I just reached out to you, and you took care of it. Like you knocked that cover out last year, and then again this year. And I have to thank you for that, because as I joke, but it's serious, like you not only did you help design the cover, but you also were encouraging me like, wait a minute. I'm like, well, maybe the men need one. You like, listen, the men don't need their own. Like, I want one. So I just want to thank you for that. And I was trying to have some for everybody. You like.
Yeah, well, and you know, and I know you're not trying to, elaborate on that part, but the thing about a calendar for men, sometimes men have to do things from a woman's perspective. We only get so many opportunities to do so, and a calendar is just another platform to familiarize ourselves with the thoughts and feelings and things of women. And so I looked at it that way. You know, if you made a man calendar, then that just keeps the division a little bit further away. And I feel like it's a good opportunity. And again, it's a calendar, you know. We just really mostly need to see the date. I don't see too many men, you know, just staring at a calendar. But with yours, I actually look at the quotes, you know, and I'm like, okay, oh, she said that, or, you know, so, and I was just doing that in my office this week, you know, because it just turned March. So, yeah, it's a great idea. And let me say this too, you know, I don't take it lightly when someone reaches out to me for something. Tiara, you've been working with people for a long time in many different places. You could have reached out to anybody to do your cover. You could have reached out to anybody to DJ. Whatever you needed, you can reach out to anybody. Anybody can reach out to anybody. And I don't take it lightly when someone reaches out to me for, you know, to help with their vision. I think that one important thing that we have to do is know our place in other people's dreams, you know, and you hear it when you hear it, you know it. We all get, you know, proposals from people or requests from people, and it doesn't hit the same. You know, hit different is a new thing, I guess. Now it hit different when it's somebody where the vision, it moves you, where you're like, you know what, I want to be a part of this. This sounds like something great that I want to be a part of, and that's really been the ongoing thing with you, Tiara. Whenever you contacted me, whether it was to speak that. And I've even told you, like, I'll just come out to Dallas, you know, and do the event. I mean that. Now, I don't want it to be perceived that I would say that to anybody, because I wouldn't. But with your stuff, I believed in your vision since you first talked about it, from the Delta stuff to the Speak That stuff. And Speak That is just a perfect name. I'm kind of envious of it, because as a fan of spoken word, who actually has my own spoken word events, I'm like, God, that was a good name.
Well, you know what? It's funny you say that, because it probably was such a good name that I'm going to throw out a little known fact here. The vision came. That was a vision that Speak That, and then to have that first event March 2011, and when people would hear the spoken word artist, they were like, Speak That. Mm-hmm. So it became catchy. Mm-hmm. So then kept going with the name. I was doing the Speak That spoken word events, the explosions. I remember doing open mic nights, just combining and collaborating with people like Tony Jones in Bloomington. But then when I moved to Dallas, somebody took that Speak That name. That's why I changed it to Speak That Movement. So I say that to say, this is a little history here. You know, not everybody is for us. The person that somebody even took, it was just wow. Whatever, right? But that's okay. The devil gets busy, but that's why you keep moving forward. So the name evolved to Speak That Movement, one, because somebody had snatched www.speakthat.com intentionally, knowing somebody that I knew took the name, my own name, and they would not release it back to me. So I said, okay, I can be mad, bitter, or I'm just going to evolve, baby. So thank you, sir. And you know who you are, because now we're a movement, baby. You made us want to move even more. But not only that, the name evolved as we evolved. Now I'm in Dallas. Now I'm about not just spoken word in the form of poetry or art, but it's about spoken word in the form of empowerment, inspiration, motivation. What words can we say to help people live their best life? So again, we're going to have a lot of stumbling blocks along our journey, but we got to keep moving. We got to keep evolving. So again, thank you to anybody that was a hater back then. You only got us going faster.
That's right. You know, when things like that happen, you know you do on the right path. So you know you're on the right path. When you got those haters that's coming in and trying to take those things, it's like, all right, thank you. I know a blessing is coming. I know it's coming. It's going to be higher, and it's going to reach higher. It's going to reach, you know, other individuals and spread further than what you can even imagine. So thank you.
That's right. So AG, before you go, I want to bring you to this platform, and I know I'm catching you off guard by this one, but every week for the last 44 weeks, I've had the Speak That Speed Round. So the Speak That Speed Round is when every guest has the opportunity to share with the audience their thoughts on the 4 pillars of Speak That Movement, which are dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it. So this is your way to, and the only way that AG can do it, to just empower people. We all know what the times we're living in right now. There's people going after their dreams. As Malik Yusef said 10 years ago, he talked about the power of dreams back then. So will you do us the honor of blessing the Speak That Movement platform with each pillar? And I'm going to give them to you one by one. And just in as few words as possible, I want you to just speak life to everybody out there listening, the people watching live, the people that are going to catch the replay, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, and you name it. So, you down for it?
I'm down.
All right.
Definitely down.
So we're gonna go, and I'm gonna make you front and center. Boom, magical. So we're gonna go with Speak That Movement pillar number 1. Mr. AG, tell us, a man that has been going after his dreams for so many years, what does dream it mean to you?
Dream it. Well, first, I think I'll say it's not this far out thing. I see a lot of people say, I don't know what my passion is. It's whatever you like to do day to day for the most part. It's right there in front of you. It's something you've probably already been doing. We get caught up in watching what other people do. And then we feel like, well, I want to do that because it's in the spotlight. What you dream may not be in the spotlight. When I say know your place in other people's dreams, what I mean is that when I did work for Tiara, for example, Tiara, it's Tiara's organization. It's not Antoine or AG's organization. And so the dream is to help with something that's bigger than myself. So when you dream it, just understand it's something that's true to who you are, sans the perceptions and thoughts of other people and their opinions. It's something that you know that you want to do, regardless of what anybody is clapping for or what they're saying.
I love it. What does believe it mean to you?
Believe it. That's probably even more simple. You know what your natural capabilities are. So I can't dunk, for example. My brother can, and I mentioned that to say that if I dream that I could dunk, but it doesn't feel natural to me, which it does not whatsoever, then I'm not really going to believe it. So a big catalyst to believe in something is to dream something that's natural to who you really are. You know what you like to do, independent of the thoughts and opinions of other people. And so your belief system is really going to be based on your ability to execute your dream. And so just be realistic. And then, of course, if you like it and you like to do it, that strengthens the belief as well. Again, you know what you like to do. And I can't stress this enough, because people will really get clouded and believe they like to do something. I'm sure you all have heard there's nothing worse than getting good at something that you don't like to do. And so I've done it, working jobs for people and things like that. But the belief system is probably the most important. And it really encompasses, to me, the belief is the umbrella to every other pillar that you have, because the believing it part, if you don't, you have to believe in truth. And part of believing in truth is knowing who you are, knowing what you really want, and knowing what you really want to do.
Love it. I love it. Speak That Movement pillar number 3. Speak it.
Speak it.
Okay. Well, we know that life and death is in the tongue. That's somewhere in the Bible. We know about the secret. Thoughts become things. Words become things as well. So speaking into existence, we could talk about affirmations and things like that. That all falls in line. But it's really just a matter of, to me, it means you're speaking it into existence. So every time you talk about what it is you dream and what you believe, you're speaking life into it. You're speaking positivity into it. And you got to be careful with getting opinions of other people.
Mm-hmm.
Speak it also consists of the things people tell you. That's the part that people don't really highlight that much, because and if you go to these people for advice or second opinions and things like that, you just have to really be careful with who you share your ideas, your dreams with, and you have to be mindful of if they're putting themselves on the line as well, or if they're following their dreams. That's a big part of it too. You can't tell me anything if you're not following your dreams. If you're unhappy all the time, that is a telltale sign that you're not living your dream. So for me, I'm just really strategic of who I share my dreams with. Number one, because they'll do like they did to my homie Tiara and try to steal the name. You know, people do it. Y'all just heard it's happened. It happened to you. So, you know, I'm very strategic, very calculated on who I speak to and how I speak into myself. And again, I'm only going to speak on those things that I truly believe.
Awesome. And last, but certainly not least.
Want me to say it? Dream, to walk it. I said dream it, walk it.
Hey, dream is the umbrella. Oh no, believe it is the umbrella. Walk it. So walk it to me means, what are you doing every day that contributes towards that dream that you believe in and that you're speaking life into? And so, you know, are you journaling? I think journaling is very important. You have to write stuff down because you cannot leave it to memory. That note section on that note app on your phone, use it. Your notebook, I got one right here while I'm on this call, while I'm on this show, because y'all have said some things, and I forgot about the Malik Yusef line at the end, but I knew it was coming because I remember he had closed it out. So you know, walking it is just that everyday process of going towards your dream and enjoying the process, respecting the process. You cannot cut corners towards your dream if you want to get the most and best out of it. If you want to feel fulfilled. If you want to walk in it and walk in it righteously, you just have to really, you know, just respect the process of the dream that you're going towards. I know a lot of people who do a lot of talking, and then kind of, again, I hate to, you know, keep referencing Malik Yusef, but he said, you know, singers are singing, expletive, dancers are dancing, and that's just the truth of the matter. You cannot. I think, you know, when I think of social media, there's a lot of people that will post something, for example, like, I'm thinking about getting my master's degree. If they get 200 likes just from posting it, they might not even pursue it. I think that, you know, in terms of the endorphins and then just the algorithm, you might feel a little accomplished just from the fact that you made a post and people liked it. So, okay, if I do decide to get my master's degree, I have a lot of support from social media. Well, posting something on Facebook and doing it is not the same whatsoever. But we have this culture of just saying stuff because it sounds good on social media. So I hate to bust anyone's bubble, but walking it means literally doing the work every single day. It's a daily process. There's not a day you can let up. Every day contributes to the final result. And then also don't get focused on the results so much. Stay focused more on the journey, because you don't know what's going to happen in the midst of that, who you're going to meet that's going to help you, that you didn't expect that was going to help you. Just be kind to people. You know, build good relationships. That part right there, the relationships part. I didn't know when I met you, Tiara, that you would have speak that. I had no idea. I think the first time I talked to you, it was possibly about a Delta event or kickoff or something like that. And, you know, I didn't know that 6 years after meeting you, you would have an event. You know, so, and the last thing, walking in it. And I promise I can be a little long with it.
No, it's good. Go ahead.
You gotta execute with precision, and that just means a few different things. You know, be a good business person, do good business. No one's perfect. You'll make mistakes along the way, possibly, but try to be straight up with people at all times, because you don't know what opportunity they'll have later. Try to be prepared. You know, if somebody calls you to DJ in Hollywood, like, you know, Candace and Erica was able to get me to do, be ready, because it sounds good when somebody says, I'm going to Hollywood to DJ, until you get up there and you blow the opportunity. And then you get an adverse reaction of what you was looking for. And now no one's calling you back. And that could crush you. So be ready. Because if you're not ready, you know, that could really turn against you in a way. And a lot of people don't get ready because they're focused on the attention more than the work. Focus on the work and really walk in it.
Wow.
Speak that.
Yeah. That was the word.
Well,
yeah. I said we have to write some things down. You know, I keep my note right there too. I said, because, you know, we take in from one another. Take in from one another. So yes, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yes. Well, that was so powerful, AG. Like, again, thank you so much for just your support. Thank you for 10 years of friendship and beyond 10 years, actually. And thank you for joining us to celebrate 10 years. So as we close out, I just want to ask, how do people follow you, or how do people support you? Like, people that are looking for whatever services, you share with them what you offer and how they can follow you and support you.
Okay. The DJing, that's one thing I do. I'm a DJ, as has been mentioned. At DJ Rated AG is how you can find me on Instagram. I try to really keep it to events that I find to be meaningful. So I do a lot of weddings because that feels purposeful to me. Special events like Speak That. I do things like that because it feels purposeful to me. In terms of photography, I'm a little bit more flexible. You can find me at keep_that_same_imagery. So it's a play on words, like keep that same energy. We keep that same imagery, underscores in between each word, and you can find me there. I also have encompassed the graphic design within the imagery, because that's what imagery is. It's not just photography. It's graphic design. It's it's taking the photography and making graphics out of it. So I've just found a way to make it all kind of work together. And so you can reach me on those platforms, and I'll be glad to work with you, especially if you doing something as real as Speak That has been for the last 10 years. So
thank you so much. Thank you for everything, and congratulations to your 10-year journey, because you have evolved as well from DJing to recognizing, I'm DJing, but there's another need, the graphic designs, the photography, and not just taking pictures, but catching and capturing moments. So again, I do not lose sight of your journey, and I thank you, and I thank God for you.
I thank God for you as well, Tiara, from the heart.
Thank you so much. Wow. This has been great. So I know we're over our time, but I just, we wanted to pause, and I want to give some shout outs. I see some people are out there. Geraldine Adams, I know you're out there. I know you were going to possibly check in with us, drop in today. Shout out to you, because you were at the first Speak That event. You were handling the VIP section at the second event and the first. Shout out to Karen. Karen was attending the first event, and I didn't even know until like 9 years later that she was at the first event. And now we're working. She's working on a Speak That Movement project with us now. So that just goes to show, this has been an incredible 10-year journey, and it has evolved. Again, if you're wondering, like, well, wait a minute, what were y'all just doing last year? Weren't you just partying last year? Well, yeah. But just to say this, to make sense out of everything, January 1st, Erica and I were together. That's why she was on. We were together. That's when the thought came to do an event, January 1st. March 2nd was the very first ever Speak That event in Bloomington, Illinois. That event kicked off so many more things to follow. So now 10 years later, some of the same key players from then are still along the journey now, and so many more along the way. We're now proud to say that what started with one event is now a movement, a non-profit organization that is empowering and inspiring and motivating and equipping women all over the country and beyond, because of one yes from 10 years ago.
Yes, it is beautiful. And as Erica noted, she said she sent an email 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And because of that email, how things came to play. So just planting the seeds, putting it out there, and those realities coming to fruition. It's amazing. It is amazing. So proud to be a part of Speak That movement. From the beginning to our time in Dallas for my additional involvement. And I told you then, as AG stated with you, couldn't do anything, but I supported. I believed in what you were doing. I believed in where we were going. If I don't believe in it, I can't be a part of it. And so I'm thankful and grateful for you continuing to allow him to use you and to be a part of the dream with you in this reality that's come forth.
Thank you. And I thank you so much. And yes, Red, shout out to you, the power of dreaming and taking action. And again, everybody out there, again, thank you. The best is yet to come. As I close out, I just want to say, check out the website. You can learn even more about Speak That Movement. But also, I just want to just say this real quick. Anybody out there with a dream, you know, dream bigger. You know, that's been the platform or the message that I've been saying when I've been speaking on all these platforms this year. Dream bigger, speak louder, and shatter the glass. We can no longer be afraid of what might happen if I do this. Well, what if nobody supports it? I don't care about numbers. I don't care, because if one person is touched by your yes, then you have done what you need to do. So I'm so grateful for everybody that has supported a Speak That Movement event, a Speak That Talks, that has purchased a Speak That calendar. I'm thankful for having the resources where we've been able to bless multiple families with Speak That Movement. And we're just getting started. We've blessed families during the Texas storm, and we said we wanted to bless 5 families, and God made a way, and 5 families were blessed by Speak That Movement. We were able to bless a family impacted by social injustice for Christmas. We were able to bless people, and we're going to do so much more. So I'm just going to throw this out there. Keep rocking with us. Next week, we have another great Speak That Talks. It's all about Women's History Month, so join us for the next few weeks. Also, I just want to say that the celebration goes on all month. Shout out to the people who even donated today in honor of us celebrating 10 years. If y'all know me, you know I do not like asking for money. I never have, and I probably never will. However, I just have to say that when people are donating and supporting, just know that it's appreciated. Just know that the money is going to good use. It's going to our efforts, women empowerment, mental health, and social justice. If you would like to be a blessing this month, we have a campaign right now. And it's really, I'm asking
Yeah.
1,000 people. And I know that y'all like, you crazy girl. No, 1,000 people to just consider $10. And you may be wondering what you're going to do with that. There's a lot that can be done with that. And that's not even enough. But if you feel led to it, just know we would appreciate it. It's not needed as far as an obligation. You still can come on every week and support and watch and be empowered. But just know that every donation is appreciated.
Yes, yes.
So,
we're making movements. We're making moves.
And I'm going to close out with this one here. In your own words, Tiara, the best is yet to come. You said it as I was typing. Stay encouraged, and may God bless you abundantly in this 10th year of Speak That. Thank you, my sister. And again, as we close out, as I like to say every single week, may God bless you and may God protect you. Check out Speak That Movement. Thank you for everything. And whatever you do, continue to dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it. Thank you for your support the past 10 years. And may God bless you and protect you. Thank you. Thank you.